Can you shrink down a bit, because otherwise I feel really short. That's why people sit down when they do this. You ready with your game face?
I am, yeah.
Awesome. Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel, and Glenn is back.
Back again, veteran.
Veteran now, without the OABG merch, but neither have I today.
Oh yeah, we're going, well, it's kind of a friendly, getting to know the rules kind of game, so we just felt, you know, we'll soften it with the clothing as well.
Soften it indeed. So we're going to be playing our first Primaris game, because we've never actually played with them at all.
Correct.
I'm going to be playing my own custom chapter, the Solar Guardians. You're playing your Ultramarines.
Yeah.
It's 1250 points. We are playing Narrow the Search with, because this is out of shot so they can't see this.
Yes, knowledge.
Frontline Assault. So when we come back, we'll have a look through the armies. See what we think. They're vaguely similar because Primaris armies are mostly the same. We'll take a look at the board and then we'll come back with everything that we need to know about the game. So this is 1250 points of Solar Guardians. Starting with the two HQs, I have a captain and a librarian. I have 3 squads of Intercessor Marines, one of which has the grenade launcher. I then have 4 aggressors, just over the back here. And then 5 Hellblasters, one of which, you know, they haven't selected their sergeant yet. They're so brand new, one of them doesn't have a red helmet. So whoever survives a battle or causes the most damage will hereby be promoted. Then we have a Repulsor Dreadnought with the Gatling Cannon. And then the new Repulsor Executioner with 1,000,000 guns, because shooting phases for these things takes about an hour, because there's what, 9 guns on this thing?
Is enough.
So let's talk about what chapter traits I'm going to be taking with this guy, with this army. The first one, I can't remember the name of it now, it's the one that we add 3 inches to the range of the guns. That's totally professional.
Yeah.
And the other one is counting damage on vehicles. You count double the number of wounds on the damage profile. The Warlord trait, Iron Resolve.
Yeah.
So +1 wound and a 6+ feel no pain roll on this guy here. Psychic powers, we are taking Might of Heroes and Psychic Fortress, as well as Smite. And that comes in at pretty much 1250 points.
And if you put Solar Guardians in the wash and get all the desert sand off, they become Ultramarines. And so this is just under 1250 points. The HQ choices here are a captain in Gravis armor. Warlord trait is Paragon of War. When he rolls a 6 to wound, it inflicts a mortar wound in addition to any other damage. He is also going to take a Relic, if I can remember which one it was.
You've got the book out so you can remember it and be all professional when you've forgotten.
I remembered what it was, which is a test. It was Sanctic Halo, which given our mission type may become redundant, but hey ho, it's captain specific and it's from the Ultramarines book, and with this whole army I've tried to be fluffy and take all of the spells and traits and stuff from the Ultramarines supplement. So he has a 3-up invuln save. My Librarian is next to him. He knows Smite, there we go, I knew that one. He also knows Scry's Gaze, which is going to give him the chance to take a command point back on a 7, and if not, a friendly unit within 18 can re-roll a hit or wound roll. He also knows Psychic Shackles, which halves the movement of an enemy unit within 18 and gives them a -1 to advance and charge rolls.
Very nice.
From there, the rest gets a little bit easier. So we've got a squad of 10 Intercessors. We have 2 units, a unit of 5 and a unit of 6. The keen eye among you will know there's a lieutenant hiding in that unit, but he's an Intercessor for today. We then have 3 aggressors, a unit of 6 Inceptors that will start the game in Deep Strike, so let's see how they can affect it. And then we have both flavours of the Redemptive Dreadnoughts, one with the plasma and one with the Gatling Cannon.
Very nice. It's amazing how many more bodies it appears you get for taking a tank in my army. Then suddenly you look like you've got double the amount of models as me.
Yeah, well if you don't take a massive tank, you can
That's
take
what
a few more
happens. You can take more
Intercessors.
bodies. And given that this mission is all about bodies on the objective, that's an instant early advantage, I'd say.
Perhaps. I mean, you've got a tank that can, you know, shoot and kill a lot of bodies, so we'll see how it plans out.
Yes, let's do that. So we are now fully deployed, if I can get my camera working correctly. So over here with the Solar Guardians, we have a small squad of 5 over here. That one's got the auxiliary grenade launcher in that squad. And then, fairly traditional I think, a bit of a castle in the middle. Especially as we're trying to face this single objective that's down here. So it's all about numbers, so I thought I'd pile all the numbers in the middle with the captain's buff or all around him. So leading from the front is the aggressors, then we've got the squad of intercessors and hellblasters. Characters behind, the other squad of intercessors over here, and on my left flank, which is the right hand side as you look at the camera, are my two vehicles, the Repulsor and the Redemptor.
And with my deployment, it's a lot of intercessors in the middle. So we've got the two dreads on the flanks.
One here.
One there, and one there.
One
so
over here.
Maybe they can distract some of Nick's heavy shooting from the middle, because that's where I'm going to get points. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And then in the middle there, which you can see now, we have got the 3 units of intercessors, the aggressors, the captains in there. The Librarian is high on a perch, and of course we have the Inceptors that can deep strike later in the game, which I should have said earlier. Well, deep striking is 2 separate units of 3, and
they can do that
because they can, and that is my deployment.
Awesome. So the big key roll is: are you going to try and steal the initiative? As the initial roll, you picked sides, which meant I deployed, which means I will go first unless you roll the magic 6.
I will attempt to roll the magic 6. Nearly the magic 1.
It's nearly a magic 6, but not
quite.
So the Solar Guardians will be going first. So the end of the Solar Guardians turn 1, and it started off pretty awful.
Depending on perspective, pretty well for me, yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty well for you at the start of the turn. So from the movement perspective, this guy just shimmied forward a little bit. All the guys in the middle walked forwards, and the aggressors did their little advance because they can still shoot after they advance without any penalty. These guys just wandered near these crates, and then over here these guys wandered over to here, out of range and out of sight, pretty much doing everything. So opening fire then into your aggressors from my aggressors, I rolled an awful lot of hits, 19 something hits, and then 1 wound.
1 wound, yeah.
Yeah, pretty poor. So then I had to resort into firing the entire central mass here into the same squad, and eventually, and I mean eventually, I mean how many people whiffed? Pretty much everybody.
The Hellblasters get a special mention here.
The Hellblasters do get a special mention. So yeah, they moved forward and they shot, and
there's now 4 of them.
There's now 4 because even I went overcharged because I thought, you know what, multi-wound aggressors, and yeah, managed to snake eyes that. So yeah, one of those did die, causing 0 damage to you.
Command point reroll there.
With a command point reroll
for another one.
for another 1 on the damage. So yeah, absolutely whiffed everything.
Is it right to say that that guy isn't the sergeant?
Correct. That guy over here, which is this guy over here. See this guy here? He has not made the promotion board.
No. 4 down to 4.
Fortunately though, this guy here with his heavy weapons, with the Devastator Doctrine in effect, finally did the damage, and rolling up his onslaught cannons and heavy onslaught Gatling cannons, and the aggressors over there are no more. So we moved on to the final unit of shooting, which was the big boy here, the Repulsor Executioner. 4 laser destroyer shots because it hasn't moved. Straight at the Dreadnought over here.
He's facing that way because he's dead.
Because he's dead. All of them hit with the reroll from the captain. All of them wounded, and 17 points of damage with no save.
Minus 100 AP.
Minus 5 AP for the Devastator Doctrine. That was just horrendous. But yeah, it took an awful lot of stuff to shift.
It's interesting.
3 aggressors.
It's interesting that I've lost 4 models, and in the game where it's number of models, then we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, it's a numbers game for this particular mission, and yeah, I've lost 1, and you've only lost 4 models, even though that second round half of the shooting was quite lethal. But when we come back, we'll see the Ultramarines' response. Get the M&Ms in there though, yeah?
MVP so far.
MVP. So, the end of the Ultramarines turn 1. Now your dice were rolling as cold as mine, I would have thought.
So, did any models die? So
Did any models move? You didn't do a lot of movement, did you?
I kind of squeezed further into the point and moved the Librarian forward ever so slightly. The psychic phase didn't do much. I put the shackles on your Intercessor squads just to try and.
Yeah, you went with the smite and Snake Eyes your smite, which you then re-rolled with a command point. So you got it off, but only on a 5, which I then denied. So yeah, you shackled my leading units over here. So they are what's that, half distance to move and stuff like that, is it?
-1 on the advance.
-1 on the advance charge. So after that, you then did some shooting.
Largely ineffective. So took a wound off an aggressor somewhere down the line with the Intercessors. Didn't do too much else. And then the Redemptor took out some Intercessors.
It took out 3 dudes with that heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, because that's now -2 on the Devastated Doctrines. So yeah, putting me on a 5+ save, which I promptly didn't make, so that killed 3, so I've got a leadership tester for those.
Oh, congrats.
But other than that, I took a wound on an aggressor, and that was
kind of that.
That was kind of that, wasn't it, really? But you still got a unit still to drop in. But at the end of this turn, so no first strike for you.
No.
I scored first strike, and we now count the number of models that within 18, which we believe is you.
Looks that way.
Because you're on about 23 to my... Oh, you've killed 3 of my guys now, so I'm definitely not going to get that point. So you're going to score a point for that. So as we go into round 2, it's 1 apiece. Cool. At the end of round 2, some more serious problems with aiming. Well, not aiming, wounding.
Hitting's okay.
Hitting seems to be alright. So from a movement perspective then, the aggressors stomped forwards as they do best and advancing. The other Marines over here have now taken a firm perch looking over the battlefield, just because they can. And then over here, the Executioner just moved around the corner so he could peer around the big yellow barrel. Psychic phase, we unleashed a little bit of smite and failed miserably. So we then did Might of Heroes on the aggressors. So they are covered by that, which we'll worry about pretty much next turn really, because it's +1 strength attacks and all the rest of it. Oh, I can be charging. I haven't done my charges yet, have I really? But I'm not going to. Then where did we get to? Shooting wise, the Hellblasters actually took 2 points of damage off of this Dreadnought with 1 whole hit and 1 whole wound.
It's progress.
For these guys that are looking for a sergeant, none of them are going to make it at this rate.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the end of the shooting phase.
Apart from these 8 Intercessors that are dead.
Apart from the 8 Intercessors are dead, right? So yeah, we unleashed hell with all of these units in the middle, including the big tank. And yeah, we killed 8. They take some getting through, don't they? 2 wound models these days.
Well, 11 in total. 8 from this unit, 3 from this unit,
and 3 from that. So yeah, we did some damage on the numbers, which was important for the objective, to try and get some more models over that central objective, which is still in the middle down here. But we are now down to 15 inches rather than 18, so we've got to get close as the battle runs go on. Let's special mention for the big laser destroyer here, rolling 3 2s, and then the one that did hit rolled a 1 to wound. So yeah, classic from hero to 0, having destroyed a Dreadnought in 1 savage round, then couldn't wound a Marine. So it's the luck of the dice. That's what we like to see. So we're going to hand it over to Glenn for his turn 2, see if he can get some numbers back and kill some of the Solar Guardians in this epic training mission. The end of a very strong Ultramarines round. The Inceptors have arrived. They are Inceptors, aren't they?
They are.
Combat patrolling. We've got 3 that have landed up on the top here, 3 that have landed down here. Then you a little bit of movement again, just these guys shimmying forwards. Then you unleashed a little bit of psychic, and when we say unleashed a little bit of psychic, we've had 4 rounds of smite each, or 4 attempts at smite
between us. Yeah.
Between us, and none of us have killed anybody with mortal wounds. I need to go back to my 1,000 Suns. So yeah, you managed to. Well, you rolled Snake Eyes again to start with, which was strong.
Yeah, strong. Twice in a row.
Re-rolled for a command point, got a 7 in total, which I then denied. But you then did your other one, Scryer's Gaze. You got that one off, didn't you?
I got that one off, and then forgot to use the re-roll, so that was good.
So
that was strong.
That was a good effort. So moving swiftly on then into the shooting phase, and yeah, you activated a very strong stratagem.
I may put it away, but it's where you essentially give your army, anyone with a rapid fire or assault weapon gets an additional minus AP while the tactical doctrine is in effect.
So on top of tactical doctrines, which makes a lot of your weapons AP -3,
yeah.
which you use to devastating effect. So I had some Marines in the middle, and combined with the Redemptor here and these guys here, my Hellblasters have all gone. They were absolutely brutalised. Even though I did transhuman physiology on them just to reduce one of those dice, because 1 to 3s then failed to wound regardless of modifiers, which meant only really affected any 3s to wound. But they all died. And then, as did 3.5 of the Intercessors in the middle, and that was that.
Couple of aggressors.
I think that was it
From the Intercessors.
And
yeah.
oh yeah, aggressors. So combined weight of fire here, and from the guys up the top here. All fired down into the aggressors. 2 have died. I mean, this AP -3 from these guys. Thankfully, I did have +1 toughness on these guys, making them toughness 6, which did impact the strength 5 heavy bolt pistols. Are they heavy bolt? Assault bolters.
Assault bolters, yeah.
Assault bolters from these guys. So it did kind of save me a little bit, but I still lost 2 and 1's down to a wound. I did pass my leadership on the 2-man squad with a roll of a 1, but you gain a point at the end of the battle round because you completely outnumber me.
Ta-da!
Putting you in the lead, 2 points to 1 at the end of round 2. I need to unleash some guns on you because yeah, this is looking a bit horrible.
I'm in that mode of first 2 battle rounds, focused a lot on the infantry and kind of ignored the huge tank, hoping it would disappear. So let's see where that takes us.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rely on my 2 vehicles here because my numbers have dwindled quite dramatically. But I'm going to have to move into maybe some tactical doctrines myself, and see if those Boltstorm gauntlets can actually do some pain in return. But when we come back, we'll see how any of that actually worked out.
We're having fun.
We are having fun. The end of the Solar Guardians turn 3, and we had quite a good roll, I think, really. So the aggressors moved up first, ready to unleash some Boltstorm gauntlets into one unit and ready to charge the next. The Executioner just peeked around the corner, and that was pretty much all of my movement phase, to be honest, because I wanted everyone to stand still and switch to tactical doctrines and start shooting. And shooting we did. So the first thing we wanted to do was get rid of this unit of 3 aggressors, Inceptors, which is what these guys did. So combined with rapid fire, giving me those extra shots, counting as rapid fire 2, they did manage to kill 1, and then wound another 1. So I had to fire with these 2 units of Intercessors, and I then put all the fire from that Dreadnought into them as well, just to make sure they died, and in effect, the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon didn't need to fire in the end, as they all then died. So wasted 12 shots, tempted to split fire and start shooting into these top guys, but you know, sometimes you just want to make sure a unit is gone, and that's what happened. The the captain, I'm demoting him here, fired into the lead unit of 2 down here, along with the 2 remaining aggressors. That 2-man unit remaining there from the big squad of 10 is now gone. And then we switch down to the big tank down here. He then decided to do a bit of split fire with his big super laser cannon, and yeah, he despite whiffing a lot of rolls, did manage to take 7 wounds off of your Librarian. The Librarian is no more. All the other guns then fired into the other dudes, the other Intercessors.
Yep.
Leaving a squad that was a 5-man squad down to 1 and a guy wounded, and then there was a 3-man unit as well. I then charged the aggressors in, And yeah, those Boltstorm gauntlets, when they're in melee mode, with Might of Heroes, with Shock Assault, put out 11 attacks between the two men.
Bring the pain.
And yeah, promptly smoothed the 3 and then consolidated into the remaining units. And that was pretty much the end of the turn. So we need to be looking at, we're still 2-1 to you because this is quite low scoring. But models wise in the middle here, because we're now down to 12-inch range.
Now models within 12, so it's a little bit interesting still.
So I'm only on 5 within 12. You've only got 3 guys up here and you're now locked in combat. This could swing a little bit in my favour because you're going to have to get rid of those guys quickly.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We know Ultramarines like to fall back.
But you can fall back and shoot, so and then we've still got this guy to worry about over here. So when we come back, we'll see how the Ultramarines get on. End of the Ultramarines, turn 3. And your movement phase saw your Redemptor move up a little bit over here.
Snuck around the corner.
Snuck round the corner. And surprise, surprise, you fell back out of combat.
I did. We are Ultramarines.
Wasn't expecting that.
That's a strategic move.
That, yes. Running away.
Yes.
And your guys up here didn't move because we were counting the numbers because it's all about this central objective. And no psychic phase for you.
Small problem with that.
Small problem with that. The Librarian is kaput.
Toast.
Having been lasered in the face. Shooting wise then, you unloaded with these guys down here and split fired with these guys up here from line of sight reasons. And you notice that one aggressor has a bit the dust. He was already wounded a little bit, but you gave him what for. Then Mr. Redemptor squared off against Mr. Redemptor.
We thought we'd have a little bit of Redemptor on Redemptor action.
And you fired everything, and I lost a wound.
He sort of chipped a bit of paint off.
Yeah, so we've been strong rolling to hit all day. Poor wounding, but strong hitting, and this time round it went the other way. And yes, the whiff rolls were with you. But at the end of that turn 3, you're scoring 7 models within the important 12 inches of the objective in the middle here. And I've only got 5, so you score another point, taking it 3-1. All to play for still.
Yep.
Turn 4 coming right up. So at the end of
your turn 4.
My turn 4, the Solar Guardian's turn 4, and we saw quite a lot of fun and shenanigans in that. I thought, movement wise, my Dreadnought moved over here. These guys stood still. My captain went and ran underneath to try and get some aura bubbles, as did the Librarian. He tried to hide under here from any of the Inceptor shooting. And then the tank moved around this corner to give some good shooting. Psychic wise, we did Might of Heroes on my aggressor squad from here, and then the nearest target for Smite was this now missing Dreadnought from the Ultramarines, causing 5 damage, but he did roll a double 6, and I kept the double 6, took 2 mortal wounds for the effort, but inflicted 5 mortal wounds for the Super Smite. We then moved into some shooting. This guy unleashed all of his guns into this guy. The guy that's not there, we'll get to that in a minute because that was combat, but took you down to 3 wounds. Then this guy over here, and he had a line of sight to the Inceptors that were up here, and firing his super neutron mega laser Death Star beam of death.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the Death Star.
It's better than the Death Star. I think Luke Skywalker probably want one of these. Certainly Darth Vader might want one. But yeah, wiped those clean off the board. Then my lonely aggressor that was down here shot and then charged your captain. And you'll see that the aggressor is no longer there, but before you did get to kill him with your gauntlet, I did smack you in the face for 6 damage.
Pretty tough.
Your Super Gravis Mark 10 armour with 7 wounds, which is a new thing, isn't it? 7 wounds. Saving your life.
There,
yeah.
He's just a broken man in a big suit of armour now.
He is, but that stopped the Slay the Warlord this round, which
He certainly did.
Yeah, but you are down to
kind of struggling with
2 models left.
But one is a captain with a bad attitude.
With a wound.
And 1 wound. So
and a wound. And yeah, I still have my big tank.
Oh, I can beat that.
And yeah, your Redemptor exploded.
Yeah, did 5
and
wounds
5
back.
mortal wounds
Yeah,
straight
there we
in the
go.
face of my tank as well, of my dreadnought as well. Can the Ultramarines' finest? Well, they're on a training mission. They're new.
Yeah. We can claw it back.
We can claw it back, right? Never surrender. The end of turn 4 for the Ultramarines, and the Ultramarines are no longer here. Brave moves from the Intercessor, who charged into the Librarian. Didn't do any wounds. The Librarian then smushed him with his Force Sword. And then Crazy Captain, because that's what he should be called. He's not going to make Chapter Master. Ran around the corner, tried to charge the Dreadnought, and got smushed in the Overwatch. He only had 1 wound left. And here endeth the lesson. So scores on the doors then. For the end of turn 4, I gained a point for Warlord, put us on 3-2.
Yep.
Then at the end of the battle round, I gained a point for the most models over the middle, takes us to 3-all. But because we don't do this whole wipeout thing anymore, what's the special rule called?
There's no tabling anymore.
There's no tabling anymore. So you play the turns out,
Yep.
which meant we had 1 more turn, which meant I would automatically score the point for 6 inches within the centre objective. 4-3, random game length turned up, no extra turns. 4-3 remains the final score. It's a very low scoring, but I've played this mission before. It's traditionally very low scoring.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 1 victory point per round available, plus your whatever.
Plus the 3,
Warlord
yeah.
and all the rest
That's
of it, yeah.
not a lot of points available in general. So tremendous game. I think that went both ways several times during that.
Yeah, it's good fun.
But we'll have some closing thoughts, and when we come back. So the end of our very first proper Primaris game, I think. That's the first time I've played Primaris in 8th edition. Only my second ever game with Marines full stop in 8th edition. I've played 1 game with my Blood Angels.
There we go.
Blood Angels against Necrons ages ago. But not played, Imperium Marines for a long time. What do you think?
Good. So we used it as a Marine on Marine training exercise in the narrative and with ourselves. Really good. Lots of good fun. So I'm sure everyone's noticed a few rules probably gone awry, but
Just a couple.
just 1 or 2, maybe 3. But as I said, this was a bit of a training exercise to help us leaf through the massive codex and get a bit familiar with that. So with that in mind, I think a pretty successful evening. The mission was interesting. It dictated a lot of the deployment, etc.
Yeah.
And with that deployment type we got as well, seemed rather fitting, didn't it?
It did, and I'm glad you picked that deployment type, especially with that mission. And we actually genuinely rolled for that deployment type as well. So
yeah, no smoke and mirrors here.
we picked the mission, but we rolled the deployment. And I think it sort of forced us together rather than standing back and shooting. We had a little bit of assault in there, the dreads on dreads, captain on the aggressors, and some other combat going on in the middle. So it wasn't just completely stood back and shot.
No, and I think it served the purpose of letting us get familiar with a lot of the rules within the codex. So we went through all the doctrines, when we remembered when some of those are pretty grim, and we went through all the phases, all the doctrines. Some shock assault was in there. I got familiar with some of the Ultramarine relics and warlord traits and psychic powers, that kind of stuff. So from my perspective, served the purpose of a bit of an intro game to the new book. Marines are pretty grim.
Marines definitely are back, and we're not playing Iron Hand shenanigans or anything stupidly powerful. I'd say. I mean, let's be honest, that repulsor is disgusting.
I mean,
I can see why competitive players are taking 3.
Yeah, my big takeaway is when does Games Workshop open so I can go and buy one.
So you can go and just buy 1.
Yeah.
I can see why competitive players are leaning towards that. That is utterly disgusting. 1 round of shooting took out a Dreadnought, another round took out a Librarian, but then I did whiff a few rolls. But you know what? If I'd taken a Chapter Master as for a couple of command points, getting those extra re-rolls, I can see why it's a competitive option, definitely. But we played a little bit of a mix of every type of unit. I mean, we've got quite a varying amount of units in here, which is quite cool.
Yeah, we didn't mirror too closely. I had the Inceptors, you had the tank.
Inceptors are disgusting.
Inceptors are good,
Yeah.
when they come down in those 2 units of 3, and they've got plenty of shots. There's 18 shots from each unit there.
And then the Tactical Doctrine for the -2, and then that 6+ gives you the -3.
Yeah.
So that's pretty horrific. But yeah, I think it was definitely good fun. One big takeaway for me is this codex is huge, and the stratagem deck is like this.
Yeah.
it's a lot of admin to run a Marine army, unless you're playing the competitive where you've only got maybe a very small handful of units.
Yeah.
So you can get rid of half the deck because they're not applicable to that type of unit that you've got.
And of course, soon you'll have your Fist supplement, so there's an extra book.
Fist supplement has been ordered, but I'm not going to be running these as Fist. I'm keeping them separate. I do have a Fist army, an Imperial Fist army, so I'm looking forward to getting that, but I will be adding Primaris to it.
Yeah, perfect.
So
add another book to the admin as well. I mean, I'm already there.
Yeah,
across 2 categories, and it actually isn't too bad. I've got the data cards as well, so my spells and stratagems, all that kind of stuff are in there.
But it's a lot of admin to run varying Marines. If you start adding, I mean, this is 1250. If we went to 2K, and you add eliminators in there, you add the new repulsor tank that's coming out, the grav transport tank. You start adding another 3 or 4 different units in there. It's a lot of admin flicking through, unless you've got memory man, and then all the stratagems to go with it. Then you add a chaplain and go with all his litanies. It's an admin heavy.
There is a lot, but I mean, most of it moves at a 6, hits on a 3 for shooting. That's half the battle one.
That's half the battle one. Yeah. But good game. Thank you very much.
Yeah, pleasure as always, sir.
Awesome stuff, and we'll
see you next time.
We'll be playing again this weekend. We're going to Warhammer World this weekend.
Yeah, it's Warhammer World this weekend. So this was a bit for me. It's get a practice game in before Warhammer World, where I'm sure Nick will do a little bit of vlogging and maybe a bit of bat repping and some content to the channel.
I hope so.
Or not,
because Warhammer World has a no video policy.
So my lack of knowledge around that shows. Maybe we might get a good bit of just chatting outside Warhammer World.
Yeah, we could do that.
Maybe outside the
entrance.
entrance.
I might add that to the end of this video.
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go.
Cool.
Perfect.
Nice one, then. Thank you very much.
Pleasure always, sir.
Always. That was an awful handshake. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I shall catch you guys on the next video.
That is so slick. That is so slick.
We'll take a look at the board, and then we'll come back with everything that we need to know about the game.
Let's roll.
That was awful.
Yeah, but it's not Hollywood, mate. Stains.